Hey guys, I hope you're all safe and well. It's Mitch here. I'm just coming on to do the Facebook card reveals for you all. So, if you were drawn to card one, we're going into the energy of, now I think I'm pronouncing this one right, Centuria, and the energy of Weaver. Now, Weaver for me is really, really powerful when it sort of shows, and it's all about weaving and designing your personal web of life. So for me, the card of Weaver, if you think of like a spider sort of weaving and creating the web, essentially they're creating that. I mean, it looks beautiful and it looks visually lovely, but they're weaving to catch things. They're wanting to catch their prey and all of this. So for me, a weaver is definitely about you creating your own web of life, and it's starting to catch the pieces, the experiences, the types of energy that you want your life to sort of become enriched by, that you want to sort of have and hold within your life. So this is a really powerful time of manifesting more than anything, but there's a bit more than just manifesting. It's almost like, to me, it's actually bringing these things into physical realization. So yes, the manifestation part maybe has already sort of taken place and has already happened, but with Weaver, it's going a little bit deeper, and it's actually grabbing, it's creating those experiences or bringing those things to life as and when they become available. So I think it's really, really important with this card to really go into your heart. What do you seek? What do you desire? How do you want your world to become? And sometimes people don't even know, because sometimes people are chasing things that they think they would like, but they don't always really know the direction they're going. So this is also about really accessing that sort of heart chakra, not being caught between the head and the mind or anything like that, but just really going in a bit deep and thinking, how do you want your life to be moving forward? What do you want your world to be made up of? And grab those things. And what's lovely with the web of life, if you think, sometimes once the web is created, you know, it's a waiting game. It's not always instant sort of success. It's not always instant victory. Sometimes there's a little bit of waiting, but the web has been created, so it can be, you know, they're ready to catch essentially what it wants as and when those opportunities come in. So yes, he has to wait for it to come along, but when it does, boom, he can be in there. So this isn't saying that it's instant stuff. There might not be these instant things. You might have to plan, you might have to put a bit of effort into something, but this is saying it'll be worth it, because the essential web of life is already set up and is ready to roll, you know, and once it's there, there's no reason why it should really break. And if it does break, you can reweave it. That's the core thing. So if an idea doesn't work first time, it's not the end of the world. It's like, okay, we can redesign it. We can go back out and sort of see what it can become again. So I feel quite excited if you've been drawn to this card, because it feels to me exciting times. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel negative. It feels primarily exciting. So I hope that makes a bit of sense for you if you've been drawn to card one. Now then, guys, as we're moving into card two, if I can pick it up, we're going into the energy of Mallow, and this is the card of death. So with this card, this is a little bit like the death card in tarot, essentially. So for me, I see this, there could be the physical loss, there could be the physical grief that some of you are maybe going through. And if that's upon you, obviously grief is a very personal journey. It's a very sort of interesting journey, but it's a journey that sort of essentially we all process differently. So grieve in the way that you need to if you're going through that sort of piece of like physical death. But I think more so what I feel from this card is death as in more conventional tarot, like the card of rebirth. So more than anything, to me, new beginnings, some experiences that maybe you've reached have become a little bit end of road, if that makes sense. So often when sort of death shows, it's like we can go no further. We've outgrown a situation. There's physically no more room for us to sort of mold or shift or try to adjust ourselves to accommodate the needs of whatever you're up against. And it's basically, you know, change has to happen. It's not even if or when, it's quite matter of fact, it has to happen. So some of you might be reaching a ceiling point with some stuff in your world, and where you've been maybe avoiding or not wanting to look at things, now you're being really sort of encouraged, and well, you are being forced almost to take it sort of directly for what it is and think, I can't keep morphing, I can't keep sort of devaluing myself to accommodate those needs. I have to now step up and physically make some changes. And with death, sometimes that means disconnection, sometimes that does mean letting things go. So it could be for some of you having to close the door on people, circumstances, situations, experiences that you find yourself in. But this will also set you free, and it will allow peace, because the other aspect of physical death is it welcomes in peace and rebirth. Transformation can come off the back of this. So to me, there will be some direct and some matter-of-fact endings, because death is also about quite clear endings, but there can also be some really exciting new beginnings. So don't fear the changes that maybe you're going through or having to process. And if you've been putting them off forever and a day, it's being brave enough to think, okay, it is now time for me to sort of make those changes, because you need to. But do what works for yourself, but do it because you know that if you've outgrown something, you can't stay stuck forever. If you're with someone that you know isn't serving your highest soul, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person always necessarily, but sometimes we just outgrow people. And if that's the case, send them away with love. It's the kinder thing to do. It's cruel to kind of be with someone if you're not really feeling it, so there's that side of the coin as well. And it might not just be people, it could be situations that you find yourself in. So be aware of it, but change is inevitable. Change is, it's almost like it's not, if it happens, it has to happen with this card. So be aware of that. Now, as I'm moving into card 3, this is a little bit of a random one coming in, a little bit of a mix-up, this one. So I have no idea how I was saying this. This is where my dyslexia gets the best of me. So I'm going to just have a go. Aquilicia? Probably not. So I'm just going to hold this one up a little bit close so you can see the name of this one. But we're going into the energy of jealousy. Guys, now then, jealousy is interesting because I don't always... how do I put this into words? Jealousy doesn't ever sit well with me. I think it's really sort of stupid to be jealous of things, isn't it? Because it just doesn't get you anywhere in life. You can envy and you can want something someone has, but it's not going to make your setup any different unless you move yourself forward. So it does bug me a bit sometimes when jealousy in general is talked about. I think there's two parts to this card. It could be for some of you that maybe you have let the green-eyed monster get the best of you, and maybe for some of you, you are feeling a bit jealous or a bit envious of a setup, a situation, something that maybe is going on. Maybe you're letting something get the better of you if you're the jealous one. And if that's the case, try and look at it a little bit deeper, because jealousy is such a limiting energy line. It doesn't serve anything good, it essentially just keeps us stuck. If we're jealous of something, if we're envious of an experience or a connection that someone's got with someone or whatever it might be, it almost is suggesting and saying that there's deeper healing work we need to do on ourselves as a person. So there's that side of the coin. The flip side of this card, if you feel like you're being targeted by jealousy, so if you feel like there are people that are jealous towards you directly, in the nicest of way, sorry, fuck them. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say sorry, but I thought, no, fuck it, I'm going to say it as it is. Fuck them, because the reason why you have worked your bloody arse off with whatever you've done to get to that point in your journey, to get to that point in your story. And often it's said, isn't it, that see jealousy as a very backhanded compliment, which can be easier said than done, particularly if you're getting it a lot, because it can become quite exhausting actually. And it can make us really fear wanting to be around people and connect with people, because we become so cautious of hidden agenda and everything else, But I think if you're sort of being targeted to jealousy, or people are jealous around you, like I say, try not to fuel into it if you can. It can be easier said than done. But, just remember, only you know your personal story. Only you know the sacrifices, the journey, the energy that you've been on to get to this point in your timeline and to have the experiences that you've had. So if something great is happening for you and if it's caused jealousy for other people, tough. If you've worked really hard and all of a sudden you're in that amazing house, or you're driving that fabulous car, or you're having those posh holidays abroad, great, you've worked hard to get to that point. No one knows your backstory but you. So if you see jealousy around you, don't feed into it. Don't allow it to sort of take hold. If you are the one being jealous, just drop the ball, let it go, because it's just holding you back in your own journey of life, you know? So depending where you're at with this card determines the piece of message you need to take from it. So I hope you can make sense of those. I'm going to leave them with you. Stay safe, stay well, stay fabulous. Really excited. The tour bus is ramping up for these next couple of weeks. So I'm going to be in Chippenham on Saturday. That is a sold out show. Just want to say as well, guys, quite a few people are asking me, oh, can you squeeze extra people in on the events that are sold out? Once the sort of shows are sold out, that's it. They are literally sold out. There is no room to sort of squeeze any more people in. So please don't keep asking me, but book the other dates, because obviously that's the best way to come along. So we got sort of Chippenham at Yatton Kennel Village Hall this Saturday. Just a reminder, Mum will be there with her stall. We also have the beautiful Carly. She'll be doing teas, coffees and cake will be available on the night, and she'll have the mini sort of Bardware of Frog Lane stall there. And we also have the beautiful Emma from Witches Valley, soaps, lotions, potions and everything wonderful. She'll also be joining. So make sure you bring a few extra pennies to sort of spend, as well as the fabulous demonstration as well, hopefully, from our loved ones in spirit. And then the week afterwards, on the 13th, which I can't remember if that's a Saturday or a Sunday at the moment, but on the 13th, I will be back over in Hensridge doing, Henstridge, I always say it wrong, Henstridge, I think it's how you say it, doing a night of mediumship, which is a beautiful little village. Obviously, we were there the other day for Amy's spiritual fair, which was a fab day. So I'm really looking forward to being back there. All being well, Namsist Crystals will be there, everything being well. Mum isn't going to be at that one as far as I know. But again, if you're needing crystals and things, there's an opportunity there. Again, another one, teas and coffees will be sold on the night. So yeah, some really exciting stuff coming up. Tickets are still available for Henstridge, but they've sold out for Chippenham. So if you want to come and see me there, get booking, guys, because there are still some tickets available, and it'd be so lovely to see you. I did that Henstridge Village Hall last year, and it was a sold out show. It's an amazing night, beautiful connections with spirit. So let's do it all again this time. So gonna leave it with you. Have an amazing week ahead. Don't get into too much trouble. Look after yourself and stay fabulous. Keep shining. And I'll see some of you lovelies very soon. Love and blessings. Bye for now.